your target market. Also, you need to perform a competitive analysis. Now, in developing a profile of your target market, you need to analyze the demographics of your consumer, your target consumers. So you need to take into consideration the sex, the marital status, the income status of your consumers. And also you need to analyze who are your competitors, who are going to be your competitors in the market. Now, after you have, once you have figured out this, now it is time to move on to your 4Ps in your marketing plan. Now, your 4Ps are basically your product, the place, the promotion, the product, price, place, and promotion. Now, basically, in this product development presentation, we're basically going to deal with the product. And a product can be a good or a service or an idea consisting of a bundle of tangible and intangible attributes that satisfy consumers and is received in exchange for money or some other unit of value. So when I say tangible and intangible, now a product is tangible, meaning that you can touch it, you can feel it, you can see it. Whereas a service is intangible, you can really experience it. All right, so when you hear the word product, it can either be a good or a service. Now, product development, planning and development. Now, new products are created as a result of an idea or a perceived gap in the market. New products usually arise from a need or a want that can be immediately filled. And it leads to the question as to why do I want to sell or create that product? All right. So a new product is created based on a need or a want in the market. There must be some need or want in the market. I was listening to a television show at one time where Oprah was interviewing Ralph Lauren, and she asked him how is it he developed the products that are on the market that are so successful. And he said he developed those products based on the need of the family. So you can also look at the persons around you closest to you and see what are some of those needs and try to fill those gaps in the market. Because most times your need will also be others' needs. Now, in order for a new product idea to succeed, it must have one desirable attributes and it must be unique. All right. So if your new product doesn't have these characteristics, it is doomed to fail. All right. So in order for your products to succeed, it must have desirable attributes for your target market and it must be unique. So you should try to develop a product that is differentiated from the other products on the market. All right, try to develop something that is not out there. So when you actually get out there, you have less competition. Now, when a new product idea is generated, the next stage is to conduct your research. Now, your research should focus on answering questions: can we produce it and can we sell it? Now, if your feasibility research finds that the idea is worthwhile pursuing, the product development process will begin. Now, the stages of the product development process are as follows. The first stage, you have idea generation, followed by idea screening, concept development, product design and feasibility analysis, test marketing, and lastly, market entry. your product development and your product, the first stage, idea generation, which is basically an invention or innovation as a result of a gap in the current market, right? What products do you think can be successful? All right. So this basically deals with your thought cycle of developing and communicating a new idea. All right. So your thought cycle basically deals with your innovation, after which you will develop the product and then you will bring it into actualization. Next, your idea screening. Now, your idea screening helps you to spot good ideas and drop poor ones. Not all ideas are good, and we all know that. So, marketers need to test consumers' reaction to their products before they continue. All right, so you need to test consumers' reaction by throwing your ideas around to see what are the reactions in order for you to get feedback to assess whether or not the idea is good. Next, product development. In product development, you need to develop your concept development. Now, if your feedback is good from your consumers or if it's positive from your consumers or your business associates, a prototype or a sample is created, right? Which will allow your target market to provide feedbacks for improvement. So your prototype is basically a sample, all right? So after you would have, developed your sample, the next step is your feasibility analysis and your product design, right? So many questions are answered at this stage as it relates to your material and your labor requirements, your cost of production, cost of promotion and distribution. All these questions should be answered at this stage. All right. So these two, the feasibility analysis and the product design, are usually done at the same time. All right. So at this stage, you can ask yourself the question, can we make and sell this product and make money doing it? So you need to ask yourself this question at this stage. And at this stage, you will be able to see what the product will look like. The design of the product should also depend on what the target market wants and what the product does. All right. Now, once you address your product design, you can now test the market. All right. And you can do that by offering random samples to the target market. All right. In order to test the acceptance of the product. All right. So consumer feedback is used to improve the product at this stage. And lastly, market entry. At this stage, the product is officially in the market and the life cycle of the product begins. All right. So the life cycle of the product begins, and it is the life, and it's the life of the product will be dependent on the consumers, competition, and your further product advancement. All right. So I'll just give you a brief overview of the product life cycle. So just like our insects will have a life cycle, products also have a life cycle. All right. So at the first stage of your product life cycle, you have the introductory phase where the product is launched. All right. Sales tends to grow slowly at this stage because persons are now becoming aware of the product and you have to do a lot of advertisement. So usually at this stage, your profit margin is, you might break even at this stage, or your profit margin may be small. At your growth stage, the sales starts to grow rapidly. And at this stage, you tend to do a lot of persuasive advertising, maybe use. And at this stage, you find that competitors start to jump into the market to try to eat out your market shares. Because if you're making money on something, you find that other persons would want to do the same thing. So that is why it's advisable in business to to shut your mouth when you're making money. Shut your mouth. All right, don't say anything. All right, a lot of persons, you see them making money and their business going on, but when you ask them, how much money you're making, they said business bad, especially in Guyana, right? So that is one of the strategies you need to use. You need to shut your mouth when you're making money at your growth stage. And farther down, we have the maturity stage, right? Where sales now increase slowly, and you tend to also decrease. All right. So at this stage, advertising is very expensive at this stage, and it's very expensive to sustain the business. All right, because it starts to become saturated. And the last stage is your decline stage, where your sales will fall and the product tends to lose its appeal. So at this stage, it is advisable to um, try to add something to the product, especially the product design. You can go back to the product design stage and try to improve the design and try to advance the product in order to encourage consumers to continue buying. Because remember, at the decline stage, you will have a lot of competitors. Okay? So following this process provides a new product with a much better chance of success. And the process should be revisited to improve and stay ahead of competitors in the market. So why do new products fail? Oftentimes marketers overestimate the market size. All right, the market may be small. That is why it's very important for you to do product development analysis and a feasibility analysis before you bring a product to the market. Also, product design problems. All right, one time I saw a product on the market where a woman actually put her face on the label of the product. And when I spoke to her about it, it was a constructive criticism. But when I spoke to her about it, she said she was annoyed. All right. But that product, I'm not seeing it now on the market because the consumers will associate her with the product. And you don't want that. All right. Um, Next, incorrectly position, price, or advertising. All right. So you need to position your product so that consumers will add value to it, all right, on the marketplace. Also, you need the correct price. You need to compare your price with your competitors. Excessive development costs. Some products you have to spend a lot to develop, all right, and then consumers wouldn't want to pay the price. So those products will tend to fail. And competitive reaction, all right. So as I said before, when competitors see that you're making money, everybody wants to jump into the boat. All right, so it's advisable to keep your mouth shut and to follow the steps in developing your product. So this is the end of my presentation. I must say thank you very much for listening, and I hope that you understand what I would have said. Thank you very much. I now hand you over back to Ms. Paris, who will deal with the quality control aspect of product development.
Good. You you take off your phone.
I take it off.
Good. Good morning again, everyone. Are there any questions for Ms. McDonald at this time? or you're going to wait until we're completely finished? As I said, I haven't seen any questions in the chat, but you can please feel free to do that. Um, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me share my screen with you again. Okay. Yes. All right. We're maintaining quality during product development, and it's not only during product development, but it is for always. How many of us have gone to exhibitions and seen products that we're excited about and like and so forth? And then when we actually, after we would have bought it the first time at the exhibition, and then we took it home and it was really nice and everything, and then we then we looked for it again, and we were very disappointed at the second buy. I'm sure that we can relate to that. So that is why we have to maintain the quality and improve the quality that we would have started with. Give me 1 second. Let me open up this screen. Just 1 minute, please. I will stop sharing for a minute and open up my screen. Okay, slideshow. Again from current slide. Oh, well, how I find him back, my good Lord, how I find him back the way I call it. Uh, uh, okay. Um, mhm. Yes, everybody can hear me? You hear me? Yes. So we have this product that we're looking at and that we want to maintain the quality. We have to, before we do anything, we need to think quality or think quality first. What does that mean? Now, you have to manage your product specifications. You have to gauge your consumers' requirement, and that means that you have this brand new product. You have put everything into it. But when you were making that first product, did you write down everything or document everything that you put into the product? Let's say you're making a barbecue sauce and you start with your main ingredients. And when you made it at first, you as you did that, you documented what you put down. But when you tasted it, something was off and you added a little something. Did you write down what you added? That there that will make the difference between a good product and one that you can maintain. So when you would have gauged the consumer's requirements and you would have put all of this into this product and the consumer likes it, you have to have your documented specifications. This means that you have to write down everything that you would have done. so that the next time you go to do it, you can re, remember, you can do it again. Now we have we have we have written down all of our specifications, and we are ready to go to the market, and we are ready to buy our product. What happens? We decide that, you know what, the pineapple that we used the last time, we got it at a not very good price. So we want to buy some more pineapples, but this time we're going to look for the overripe ones, or the ones that are selling a little cheaper. But because it is selling at a little cheaper, sometimes it bruise, it touch, it it is not at the best quality that you want it to. But because of cost constraints, you tend to go with it. Big mistake up to a point, because you can have we have to work out we have to strike a balance between the what is economical and will do our business or do our product good, and we have to look at what will not do our product well, in the sense that if it is rotten, the only thing that we can do with it is throw it away or bury it. Product development and product quality cannot utilize materials that has passed their prime quality or is rotting. That is pure and simple. We You can't do anything with that. Garbage in, garbage out. There is nothing you can do with it other than bury it if it is dying. And so our raw material and ingredient quality is important to maintain the quality that you want to have throughout the life cycle of this product. We can't start with the best quality and then reduce to that low quality or no quality. It cannot work. Your raw material and the ingredient qualities have to maintain the same quality you want to maintain throughout the period. And so it is very important that your ingredients and your additives all have the desired quality that you would have started with, as well as your packaging material, your cleaning agents that you would have been cleaning your counters and countertops with. We cannot start with doing the very best and making sure that our sanitation is perfect for the first two batches, and then when things get hectic, we forget to clean, or we don't clean as well as we should, or we don't do the same things that we used to do at the beginning. It just cannot work that way. So we have to make sure that everything we do the first time, we continue to do. Yes, instead of digressing, we can improve on our quality, but we should not go back or go backwards. Now, when we're looking at quality of ingredients and so forth, we have to buy those ingredients from somewhere. We have to make sure that the purchasing and supplier assurance is there. We have to ensure we have to maintain that we have to make sure that it quality, in ensuring that we have quality, we have to ensure that our where we purchase and our supplier assurance. What does that mean? It means that If we decide that we're going to buy from, let's say, John Jones, John Jones has the quality of product, that the raw materials that we want. We have, and we are going to depend on John Jones to supply this raw material for us. What we have to make sure is that we tell John Jones the specifications that we need. We need to have 10 pounds of um, or 100 pounds of pineapple. They should be light, they should be ripe but firm. They should have these qualities, X amount of qualities. What it says to John Jones is that John Jones is going to be supplying you with this quality all the time. A good point to recognize is that if you are just depending on only John Jones, then you may be in trouble somewhere along the line when John Jones cannot cannot or would not give you what you want. That means that means that you have a product that you're depending on, and then the person who you're depending on does not come true. That can be detrimental to your product. How do we avoid that? We spread that product out or raw material out. Instead of asking John Jones to supply 100 pounds or 1,000 pounds of this product, you get 2 or 3 people or 4 people to supply smaller amounts of the same product. You have more peace of mind, and so you can now relax that if something goes wrong with one supplier, you still have backup for the others. Um, you still have backup for the others, and you wouldn't be at a total disadvantage when something goes, or if something goes wrong. So your sourcing and your purchasing of your raw materials and ingredients have will always influence your final quality. Here it is that the quality product process. You measure, you score, you analyze, you get feedback, and then you improve. Simple enough, right? How do we understanding the manufacturing process control? Process control can be managed to ensure that the production of the product complies with that specification. How do we do that? It means that we have to write down everything that we have done. Yes, you have the ingredients that you have used, and so you know the quantity of ingredients for a particular batch. You need for the barbecue sauce, you have 100 pounds of pineapple, you have 20 pounds of ketchup, you have 2 ounces of salt, and so forth. So you have that down right. Your process control is the process that you actually use. So what we're supposed to have is a flow chart that says at the beginning that we will wash our product, our raw materials, and then we will cut it, and then we will blend it, and that entire process is documented. We have the ingredients, but we also have to document how the process goes. Because if we don't, what will happen is that for every time you switch around the process, you will get varying varying differences in how it presents itself to you. Okay, are we together on this? Yes. Someone please mute their mics. I'm not seeing who the person is, so I can't mute it for you. But please mute your mics. We're hearing you. Yes. So in your process control, you have to make sure that you follow the documented specifications in doing in the way that you do it. So if you're going to change that process, chances are you are going to get a different quality of product, a different taste of product, because you have changed the process. The application of techniques such as HACCP really works. The critical analysis control points really work in this system, so that it helps you. Once it is documented, it helps you to get to keep on the right track. You have to also determine your process controls, what you're going to be doing, when you're going to be doing it, and so your formulation always takes precedence, so that that quality will always be maintained. Yes. So here is a flow chart showing you, this is generic, so you can do what you can just, you have the requirement, you know what the requirement is, you know what the plan is. If something happens, you have a corrective action to follow. When you get to that point, you will know, well, there's a requirement here. Excuse me, one moment. Yes, you are you are going in a particular direction. You know what you want, you know what you're doing, you know how the process is following. If something happens, you should always have a backup plan as to how to proceed, so that your quality is not affected. Okay? Now we spoke just now about the process control. Now we'll talk about the product control. In the product control, you have the product that you are working with. And so you have to have checks and balances along the process to check the product to make sure that it is going how you want it to go. If not, you will have problems. So you have to make sure at every step of the way that, yes, we're making this barbecue sauce, and at 20 minutes into boiling, it looks how it's supposed to look, and it tastes how it's supposed to taste. If we're going to add something at 20 minutes, then everything should be right at that point in terms of your, let's say, your sweetness or your saltiness. Those are things that you have to check for. Yes, in our Guyana context, we just taste, but a lot of times when we're doing large batches, we don't have the opportunity to taste, but we have to now test those controls to make sure that that what we are testing is at the level it should be at. Quality management. You have your quality control, you have your quality assurance, and you have your quality planning. It means that you know what you want, you know the quality that you want, you have designed a program that will have the assurance that this quality will be guaranteed, and then you plan for any eventualities. Sorry about that. Yes, you plan for any eventualities. Yes. Now, during marketing, a lot of us don't think that when our product leaves the factory, that we're still responsible for it. Or we might know that yes, we're responsible for it. But do we tell the marketing people that this is what we need them to do with our product? Or the supermarket that we need them to not put our product next to the next to a strong smelling something. Let's say you're doing a flower, and yes, it is packaged very nicely, and it is in the everything is perfect with this thing. But on what we don't know is that plastic has some amount of porosity, and if it is stored very close to something that is strong, that has a strong odor, the chances of that being absorbed into your product is great. And so we need to make sure that it does not happen. So we have to tell our supermarket, do not put this flour next to the smoked fish that you have, or don't put it next to the soap powder, or generally speaking, it may not um, that may not be a problem, but sometimes it is, because the soap, the strong smelling smoked fish will cause your product to lose the quality that you want to maintain. So we always have to make sure that we tell our supermarket or people marketing for us what we require. Now, food safety management is making sure that the management of the food is always safe. We're always making sure that the product is safe. We cannot have contamination. We cannot have poor people tampering with our product. If it is tampered with, we need to know about it, and that is why if a seal is broken, are you going to purchase it? I don't think so. And so those tamper evident seals are important to ensure that, or to assure your consumers that your food safety is in place. Your assessment of risk and compliance with food safety and quality assurance systems are important, that ensures that the company's product remains safe, marketable, and competitive. Now, our best approach to making sure that we have safe food is to utilize one of the practices that either HACCP, Analysis Critical Control Point, good manufacturing practices, and there are a number of other safety standards that we have out there. I'm sure you're aware of ISO and all the others that are going to guarantee that you meet legal requirements and that your consumer satisfaction is at its maximum. In doing so, you have to test and inspect. Testing and inspecting will always ensure that you have a good product, a quality product, and that you're not at the mercies of willy-nilly, so to speak. Inspection and testing are necessary procedures to ensure that your product complies with the specifications that you would have set out. Before marketing, that is key. During marketing, it is also necessary. Because sometimes if you have a problem, then we have to now recall that product problem. The only way we can know that we had or have a problem is when we inspect and test. If it gets away from us and we go out to the it gets out into the marketplace, then there should be some controls in place that tells us that, you know what, this batch went to X and Y supermarket, and so it will be easy to go to those X and Y supermarket and bring it back in without our consumer losing confidence in us. So testing methods should comply with all legal requirements, and we know that our legal requirements is food and drugs. It is essential for consumer confidence, and it is severely undermined if the product is unsatisfactory. Thank you. Any questions? This burger is what I would want to call the quality assurance, where you have the quality assurance umbrella, and then you have the method development, and then you have your checklists and testing, then your product
When,
inspection, and you're making
yeah,
sure
when I
that
come to rent from
everything
you.
is intact. So thank you for listening. I hope we made sense because we haven't gotten much feedback from you. Any questions at this time?
I don't know how I get him on my car. You see this Zoom thing, I don't really know much of it.
Your mic is on because
Oh,
I'm hearing you. So go ahead and ask your question.
good morning, Miss Grace. I get
Good
the name right.
morning.
Well, this is my first time on one of your Zoom because I missed the 20th and 21st. I'm very much happy for the little notes that I was able to take intake, and I'm a newcomer on the market of producing. I'm doing the green seasoning, hot sauce, garlic pork seasoning, and all purpose. We were talking about maintaining the quality of the product. When we say maintaining the quality, and you also mention what was it? I make a jotting of that. Always use quality stuff,
The quality ingredients.
quality ingredients. Yeah, that's correct. But sometimes it's like, for instance, I have loose business to pepper. It's like you go to the market, you try to get, for instance, me, I have two different persons that I purchase from. But then sometimes when you get home with that product, it's not what you're expecting, because it's like you trust this person, and when you get home it's a different thing. So sometimes you may not always get the same product, because it's like, when the example I'm trying to say, just bear with me, is that you already leave them to bag off your stuff and ship it off to you. But then when you get home, when that product gets to you and you open that bag, it's not as fresh as you're expecting. So what should we do, or what should I do concerning something like that? Because it's
Check,
already in my
check,
presence. I already
check.
know what I'm
And
saying,
tells you
because
that,
of the
okay,
fact I would normally order on the phone,
oh
and it
yes.
would come to me. So when it comes to me, what could I do when they didn't give me the fresh one? Sometimes they give me the one from yesterday and not from today.
Maybe you might need eventually to change your supplier. You can sit
Okay.
down and have a serious conversation with your supplier and tell them how this is affecting you. Sometimes they may not care, or sometimes they will, because they are maybe dependent on you for supplying the, for purchasing their the product that you want to purchase. Also, you can, like I said, you can now, instead of having one supplier, have two. It may be easy, it may be difficult, I do not know. But what we have to ensure is that when you say that you want X, that you get X at the condition that you want it at. It may take playing around with your suppliers a little bit, going out there, checking out other people, um, and stuff like that. But you would understand that when you don't get the product that you want, what happens?
Yeah, that's true.
Right? You understand that when the quality of the pepper is not what you want, what can you do other than throw it away or work with it if you can? Sometimes you can't work with it,
No.
and it is your loss. and
Yes,
and
I've
and,
lost
and
twice
that
in it.
right, and that loss should not occur. I'm sure that when you lose like that, you can't. Do you take it back to them and say, I can't use this?
No,
Or do you?
because I'm all the way over in region 3, and
Mhm.
I normally buy from Stabrook.
Okay.
So for me to get back down to them, it's like it's gonna become worse than what was giving to
Right.
me by the time I get back
Mhm.
to them.
Mhm.
And my
And
second question,
uh-huh.
my product, I'm thinking about bringing another product, but the product that I'm using, that I have on the market presently, is in glass bottle.
Mhm.
If I'm to put a product in a plastic jar, would the plastic draw out some of my taste from my product?
It will depend on the quality of the plastic. It will the quality of the plastic container will make a difference.
Okay.
Some you have to get, to begin with, where whenever you're using plastic, you should not be using vinegar, because vinegar and those acid-based foods will deteriorate the quality of the plastic.
Okay.
So if it is something that is acid-based, or that you're using vinegar or citric acid or one of those, it's
Yeah.
not it's not recommended that you use plastic.
Plastic.
If
Okay, thank you. Presently, I'm using the
especially
glass jars.
if the shelf life is long.
Okay.
If the shelf life is short, then you can work with that, because the time it will take will be a little,
Less.
it will turn over faster.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay then. Is there any other questions? Because I'm not seeing anything in the chat. If not, thank
This
you
is not
for
a
being.
question, Miss Grace. One thing before you
Huh?
go, this is not a question, but I'm just asking because not normally, I do buy my jars from your company. Is it a long term?
From my company?
Yeah, Guyana Marketing. I buy the
Oh, no, no,
jars.
no. Oh, okay. All right. Let me clear up something here. We're doing this workshop or virtual presentation in collaboration with the Guyana Marketing Corporation. You
Okay,
are
okay.
speaking with the people from the Guyana School of Agriculture. And
Okay,
so
Miss
you will
Grace.
have to direct that question to
To
Guyana
them.
Marketing Corporation.
Okay. Thank you. Because I'm very skeptical. I'm hoping that I continue to get my jars.
Well, I hope so too.
Yes.
Okay, then. Any other questions? Thanks for listening. If not,
Thank
Good
you for
morning.
everything.
good morning,
Good
Kay.
morning. Good morning, Miss Paris and Miss Nelson. Thank you very much for the presentation and the opportunity for inviting us. It was very informative. I would like to ask if those PowerPoints could be sent to our email if you provide them in the chat.
Actually, you would have been contacted through the Guyana Marketing Corporation. And
Yes.
so we are GMC. And so we are in the process. Yes, we have recorded it. And so we are waiting on GMC to forward those email addresses to us so that
Okay.
we can let you have it.
Okay.
And then the recording will be available on our Facebook, YouTube page.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you much.
so
Thank
you
you very
can
much.
subscribe and and you'll get all, not only for the people who would have missed yesterday and the day before, all will be on the GSA Facebook page and YouTube platform. Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, so anything else? Because we've got to go. If not,
Hi, Miss Grace. Could you tell me the name of your Facebook page?
I believe it's Guyana School of Agriculture. Yeah, Guyana. I'm not.
You're not
This bad
familiar
of
with it?
me, but I think it's
I
Guyana School of Agriculture.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Okay then. So thank you so much
Thank you
for
so
the
much for the
interactions.
information. Yes, thank you.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.